Here are your solutions to Lesson 5, Chapter 1, Guided Practice. First problem is we are being asked to express the expression in terms of a positive exponent. So they start out with 2 to the negative fourth. In order to make that positive, we need to move it to the denominator. We have 1 over 2 to the positive 4. Number 2, 4 to the negative third becomes 1 over 4 to the positive 3. Number 3, a to the negative fourth is the same as 1 over a to the positive 4. And number 4, g to the negative 7 is the same as 1 over g to the positive 7. Remember, anytime you move it from the numerator to the denominator, it changes sign. If it was positive, it becomes negative. If it's negative, it becomes positive. Very simple rule, but a very important one. Number 5, we're now changing to negative exponents to practice that for a while. So we have positive exponent 1 over 3 to the fourth. In order to make it negative, we move it to the numerator, and it becomes 3 to the negative fourth power. Number 6, 1 over m to the positive fifth becomes m to the negative fifth. 7, 1 over 16. Now we need to recognize one of two things. We can look at this two ways. This is an interesting problem. We can think of 16 as 4 times 4, which is 4 squared, or we can think of it as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 4 times, which is 2 to the fourth power. If we looked at it this way, then we move this to the numerator and it becomes 4 to the negative 2. That's one way to rewrite 1/16. Another way to rewrite 1/16 is to look at it this way, and then it becomes 2 to the negative 4 because we move this into the numerator. Problem number 8, we need to recognize that this is 7 squared, so we have 1 over 7 squared. We can write that as 7 to the negative 2 power. Number 9 is drawing on that sample problem again. Notice that we have 4 zeros and then the 1. So it is, in order to move it over to here, we're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, and therefore it would be 10 to the negative 5. Another way to look at this is that this is 1. If you count it out here, it's the tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000ths, 100,000ths place. So it's 1/100,000th, and that is going to be 100,000 would be 10 to the fifth power. Move it into the numerator, and we have 10 to the negative 5. Number 10, we are simplifying again. So we have 3 to the negative 3 times 3 to the negative 2. We're multiplying, so we're going to add the exponents. Negative 3 plus a negative 2 would be negative 5. 3 to the negative fifth would be 1 over 243. Some of you will find this way a little bit easier. We can move them both into the denominator, and they become positive, so it's 1 over 3 to the fifth, 1 over 243 either way. Number 11, we have r to the negative 7 times r to the positive 3. Since we're multiplying, we're going to add the exponents. Negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4, and then we move it into the denominator. It becomes 1 over r to the fourth. Number 12, we have p to the negative 2 over p to the negative 12. I think this is a real good example of moving from numerator to the denominator, or vice versa. Makes this a much easier problem. Move this up, it becomes p to the 12th. Down becomes p squared, and now we just have p to the 12 minus 2, or p to the 10th. If you did it the other way, you would end up with 1 over p to the negative 10. Now to our essential question. Our essential question was, how are positive and negative exponents related? And the way to put that is two things. First of all, positive exponents are repetitive multiplication. Negative exponents are repetitive division. Remember, we can look at division as a form of multiplication by using it fractionally. And then the key statement here then would be, you can rewrite one, for example, positive exponents, to the other, negative exponents, by using its multiplicative inverse. That was that thing we're talking about switching from the numerator to the denominator. Like say if we had 10 to the negative 2 over 10 to the negative 4, we can change that by switching them up, and it becomes 10 to the positive 4 up here, 10 to the negative 2 here. This is multiplying by the multiplicative inverse. Whether you move from the numerator to the denominator or denominator to numerator, just remember the sign changes, and this is a really powerful thing to understand when you're working with negative exponents. Thank you.